Today we are doing one of my favourite ever dishes that we used to get at my local Thai restaurant. It is flat noodles, but we're serving ours with some steak, which will be very delicious. So we've got these beautiful flat noodles. They are called Ho Fun noodles, Ho Fun rice noodles. And I got these from the Asian supermarket because we're very lucky because we have a very amazing Asian population in southwest London, in New Malden, and we've got these incredible Asian supermarkets, so we can pick up ingredients like this. If you can't pick up these noodles, just use regular rice noodles. You can find them in the world food section of your supermarket, and they will do, but they won't be as delicious as these. This is kind of like the pappardelle of Asian noodles. So they're really nice and thick, and all that amazing sauce is able to cling to those noodles, recycle that flavor. It's just going to be amazing. So to start off, we basically need to get a lot of chopping out of the way because everything comes together really quickly, so we're going to get nice and organized. I always like to chop my vegetables first because if I chop the beef first, I'll have to wash the board. So I'm basically just saving up my washing. So we've got some lovely purple sprouting broccoli. I'm just going to nip off the woody ends and throw those in the bin. And then we're just going to roughly chop the broccoli so we get a nice texture and a nice mixture of the stems and the florets. So that can go on there. So now we've got these baby corn, which again is another stir fry winner. And we're just gonna slice them in half. I like to keep my veg quite chunky because in a stir fry, I like to have the texture, I like to have the crunch. If you chop it really thin, it's gonna sweat in the stir fry and it become quite soft. That's not what we want, so quite chunky. Quite chunky. I just think this is a really good midweek meal, something you can find in your local Thai restaurant, but it's actually quite easy and it's double delicious. And I'm gonna throw to a video that we made, Mikey. How long ago now? A year? Yeah. I remember it was really hot, but we learned how to make an authentic pad Thai at my local Thai restaurant with the lovely Wally and her lovely mum, and I'm kind of taking those techniques and applying them to this. This is the first video back from proposing to the lovely Clark, so I'm extra happy today. Okay, so half an onion, and like I said with the veg, we're going to keep it quite chunky. Take the root off, and we're just going to chop them into relatively big slices. So that is the veg done. We've got some garlic, chili, and some ginger. So, no messing about. Get your grater and just use that to grate the garlic. It just makes life a little bit easier. You know me, I love my salt on the board and use the knife, but sometimes when it's midweek, you just want to get dinner on the table, and using a microplane just makes life easier. And also Mikey got me this for Christmas. Was it Christmas or my birthday? It was my birthday, I think. So, it has extra special sentimental value. It's hot in here, innit? Now, once that wok goes on, all that wax in my hair is gonna melt down my face. And then just a chili. Now, I don't want this to blow your head off, but I'm just gonna go for like quarter of a chili, I reckon. And I quite like cutting them nice and thin and into rounds, because chili obviously gives us a lovely spice, but that is just so beautiful, isn't it? So you're gonna get little flecks of red in the stir fry, which are gonna add to the color. So another top tip with stir fries, pick veg which have different colors, because you look at it and you think, boom, lots going on, lots of different fibers, nutrients, and it looks better to eat, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. Moving on to the protein, we've got this lovely rump steak, which we're going to thinly slice. Now, the great thing about stir fries is that you can pretty much use any kind of protein. You can use chicken, you can use pork, you can use prawns. I've used quite a lean cut because I want this to be quite healthy. So it's really important when chopping is that you use the whole blade, and you want to go nice and smooth. You want the knife to do all the work for you. Because if you're going to start fighting it, you're going to get quite jaggedy strips. You want these nice, long, thin strips. So, on to the final bit of the preparation. We need to make our sauce, which consists of 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, which again, you pick up from the world food section of your supermarket. So, we've got a tablespoon of light soy sauce. So, obviously, this is going to give us a really nice salty kick. 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce. Now, this is for the color. This is going to really stain the noodles so we get that lovely colour in the finished product. And then a very common Thai ingredient is fish sauce, best. And then finally, because we've added a lot of salt, we need to add a touch of sweetness, and that is going to come in the form of sugar. So to keep it healthier, you could add some honey. But I just feel like with sugar, it's something you've always got lurking around. That's it, done. Veg chopped, garlic grated, thinly sliced beef, sauce made. Now we're moving on to the cooking. Every stir fry starts off with a hot wok. You want to ideally preheat this for at least 5 to 10 minutes beforehand. If you add in your beef and it's quite tepid, the heat, there's no real recovery. So you want to cook it with intense heat, and you can't really get it hot enough. Can you see the smoke starting to rise up? That is the sign that it's hot enough. We're just going to season our beef with a little bit of salt and a touch of white pepper. Use black pepper if you don't have white, but you can find it in most supermarkets now. And then that goes into a hot wok. And just cook this on one side. Don't move it too much until we've got a really nice caramelized colour. God, I thought I was going to have an Alison Hammond moment there. Oh. That literally just flashed before my eyes. So that's been cooking for about a minute. So now we're going to go in, get a bit of a stir fry going. There we go, look at that. And what's happened is, all that salt has extracted all the flavour out. And so when we take it out and put the veggies in, we're not losing any of that flavour. That flavour is going to get sucked up by all the vegetables and just put it back into the stir fry. Okay, now, if these aren't 100% cooked, that's okay, because they are going to get cooked a little bit more. So they go into a bowl there, touch more oil into the pan, not a lot, just a little kiss, and we're going to go in with our veggies. Touch of salt. It's not enough to season the food, but it's just enough to get it working. You see these onions coming here? They've started to go a little bit brown. That's all that beef flavour. Cook these for about 1 to 2 minutes. We don't want to cook the hell out of them. We just want to get rid of that raw flavour, but we still want that crunch. Onto our holy trinity of garlic, ginger and chilli. So we're going to mix it in. Let the pan do the work. So go forward and back with your left hand and around with your spoon hand. I've spoken about these lovely noodles. These noodles go in. And you do need to cook these a little bit, but because they're nice and dry, there's no chance of it going quite sloppy. And it's basically just everything goes in. Sauce. And then all the beef. And then we're mixing. And it's as simple as that, really. We have got an unbelievable dinner in 15 minutes, basically. Final ingredient, I mentioned colours. We've got some lovely Thai basil here. This is just incredible. You know, this is just going to get folded in at the last minute. It's going to give us an incredible aroma. Come in here, look at that. There's a little flecks of chili in there. That lovely, glorious beef. Crunchy broccoli. The lovely corn. High in protein, low in effort, but big on flavour. That is a midweek meal that everyone should be making this summer. The fact that it comes together really quickly just makes it just an added bonus. The recipe is going to be linked down below. Let me know how you get on, and please subscribe, and we'll see you next time for another video. We've got some exciting news coming your way. Me, Mikey and Clark have been working on a project. That is a little teaser.